the original. Like, I respect that. That's cool. I like it when, try to like put your own thing or like make your own little twists and stories to it. That's fine. That's cool. I just, like, I wanted more. I don't know. It was kind of like, it still felt like they played it safe. They still tried to do it too much like the original, but also not, because it had a lot of other things to it that the original didn't, story-wise, and the beats of the film. And so, yeah, I guess I kind of didn't like the keeping it in the middle parts. Like, I think I was like, yeah, either make it a remake starring Nick Cage or do something completely different with it, I guess, which is what then happened with Midsommar.
Hmm. And I think you're totally right too, because remakes, I think they got to act as a companion piece to the original. I don't like them when they are direct, let's say, or they're half 100% so they're 50% faithful, 50% not. I like them when they kind of branch, when they go on their own. Does that make sense? That was a long way of me saying that. The remakes are, I think, are at their best when they're like Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead, where you have fast zombies, you have the music, the editing, the explosions, the blood, all of that kind of stuff. You get rid of the contemplative Romero Dawn of the Dead that just exhausts you into a sort of music video of carnage, which I like. And also the new Fright Night. I really like the new take on uh, what Peter Vincent, played by, oh gosh, why can't I think of his name? The 10th Doctor, David Tennant. I love that, like, the different relationship with the mom, the different relationship with the girlfriend. I thought it did enough to make itself totally different and act as a companion piece. I haven't, like, this one, I guess they're totally different, but it still sticks to the template, so it doesn't do enough to act as a true companion, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree. I don't like the keeping it in the middle, playing it safe. I agree that you have to like respect the original, especially if it's like a cult movie like the original Wicker Man or say the original Texas Chainsaw or whatever. But yeah, I don't know, like, but I mean, it's risky. It's risky too. I get it's a choice. It's either gonna work or not, I guess. I don't know. Um, I don't know. It not for me, no,
Yeah.
personally. I think maybe like down the line I would appreciate it more. I don't know. I don't know. The first one will always just I would rather watch the first one again.
I just appreciate carnage. I really do. And this movie just sort of feels like carnage. It was a major release at the time. This was a big movie that was released. Nick Cage was in it. He was still hot. He's so hot right now. He was still doing good business. He was still popular, making big movies. And then this comes out. And it's just such a head scratcher that makes me happy. I don't know. I guess if someone were like Mark, make argue like I don't know why someone would put me on the spot like this because art is subjective, but I don't know if I could make an argument that this is a good movie, but I could make an argument for why I love it. If that,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
that's fair. I mean, like a lot of people like it. I think it also, I mean, it happens when movies bomb. A lot of movies get cult followings. Like a lot of people like it because it didn't do well, or like because of things that critics didn't like. People like it because of those things. So, I mean, that happens, and that's cool. I think that's cool. I just think that, yeah, people will always disagree on Nick Cage's Wicker Man. I love the guy. I do. I want to like the movie. I just, like, for you, it's Carnage. For me, it's kind of meh. I think it's just going to be that subjective for a lot of people. And that makes it very interesting. It's like, I mean, it's boring when everyone just agrees on this is an amazing movie. Then it's like, okay, cool, discussion over. So,
yeah, yeah.
you know.
Kubrick, amazing, done. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I think my favorite scene is the classroom scene because that scene like always keeps my attention. It's just very well done, like the acting, the filming, like that's like a good scene also to teach in film school. I think. It was so cool also with like these little girls sitting there. And they're making Nick squirm. They're making Nicolas Cage squirm, just like staring with them, dead-eyeing him. And he's like losing it and sweating and like not coping because he's not getting the answers he wants to. And these little girls just making him squirm. I don't know. I love that. And who's the actress again with him in that scene?
Molly Parker.
She's also great.
Yeah.
She holds, yeah, she holds it. She brings the intensity in that scene that's like, yeah, it's fantastic.
I mean, just the all-around cast brought in for this movie is
Right?
solid.
I love
So,
Ellen. I love Ellen, who plays the mother. Ellen, how do you say her surname?
Burston.
Burston.
Yeah, Burston. Yeah,
Um,
Ellen Burston.
yeah.
And then
Flover.
Lily and Molly and it's a good cast brought in for this movie.
I love that. There's definitely like everyone I think did what they were supposed to do. It's just like I kind of wanted them to unleash more. I don't know. Wicker Man is like bananas, so I wanted the bananas and I didn't get it. I
No, I think you're making a good point because the bananas just comes from Nick Cage going,
Yeah.
but the movie around him is not bananas. I think he's trying to carry the bananas on his back, which is a weird thing to say. But then the rest of the movie can't match that because it's
I
on
think
two
they
different
tried
tones.
to exactly. I think they made it like it became too serious with the whole women female angle. Like, I mean, usually I would totally appreciate an angle like that. I just don't know if this was the movie to do it in or like in that way. I think like I don't know. I don't know. Like honestly, while I was watching this again, yesterday, the day before, I was like actually wondering if this sort of made like a cool short mini series. Like, I wonder if you can do some interesting stuff with it, because I mean, we know Wicker Man and like, cinephiles and like horror fans know Wicker Man, but we are like a drop, a drop in the bucket of like people who watch movies. And I wonder if you could introduce like Wicker Man to a larger audience by doing a series and then like using some of these themes that they did added in the new one or like kind of focused more on with the new one. I don't know. It's just the thoughts.
I love
So like
his
I said,
run.
I like the ideas. It
Mhm.
just didn't work for me. But I like the ideas in it of
Well,
what they wanted to do.
could be
Sorry.
Midnight Mass with less monologues.
Way less.
I made a joke that that they got hired for that movie based on how well they could listen to monologues and act. It's hater. But I do love Cage's run in the 2000s. So in 2002 adaptation, he gets nominated for an Academy Award.
Oh,
Matchstick
love
Men,
that movie.
beautiful Ridley Scott movie. National Treasure. I mean, that was a blockbuster. That was a blockbuster movie, and I think it had. I wrote about it for Rotten Tomatoes on its 20th anniversary, and it had an A plus cinema score, or no, 15th anniversary, and it had an A plus cinema score. It's like a 4 quadrant movie that people kept watching. Lord of War, which I think is a really excellent performance. He's sort of an
Yeah.
anti-hero, a capitalist, and it was a daring performance. Then top of that off with Weatherman, that was okay, but then he did World Trade Center, which I thought he was really good in. But then he does Wicker Man, right? But then he immediately goes to Ghost Rider, which did well. He goes on to Next, which he's just bored the entire time on that one. But then he moves on to Book of Secrets, National Treasure, huge movie. Then he has Bangkok Dangerous Knowing. But then he turns in really interesting work in Bad Lieutenant and Kick Ass. But then he pops up in Sorcerer's Apprentice and Season of the Witch, Drive Angry. And then that's when his direct to DVD run started. But I do think during that time, though, he had Joe in 2013, he had The Trust in 2016, then he moved on to Mom and Dad in 2017, Red 2018. So he's had a really interesting, like the 2000s were up and down, but Wicker Man did nothing to stop him. I like how he just keeps bouncing back. And if Hollywood won't have him anymore, he'll go do Joe with David Gordon Green. He'll go do Mandy with Panos Cosmatos, I believe his name is. He'll go do interesting work with other people. So I don't know. He's it makes me happy. So I keep saying this, Nani, but he's just sort of a bulletproof actor who would just pop up in anything and do unique work. So have you watched where is it? Prisoners of the Ghostland yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. I still need to, but like so many people have told me not to bother, so I haven't yet. But I am curious to
You know,
see
I
it
think
still.
I think made it better for me is the director Sono. I had seen his movies. Why Don't You Play in Hell? He has a couple other movies, The Suicide Club, and so I knew his tone and how bonkers and how he has this really out there aesthetic that isn't quite linear. It's not quite logical. It's very over the top, loud, abrasive. So when I heard that Nicolas Cage was going to be in his movie, I was so happy because they seem like really compatible actor and directors. And so when I watched it, I loved it, but I know why people hate it because if you aren't familiar with the director and then you're not really familiar with Cage's work, because the director lets his actors go huge. And so in this one, like Cage is put in an exploding suit, like his elbows and hands and balls, and whenever he does something, something explodes. So you get some of the weirdest explosions that I don't want to wreck anything for you, but I know why people hate it. That's a movie I have a hard time defending, but I just went into it knowing what the variables were, and I dug it. So I just think, yeah. But I totally get people who hate it. There's no
Yeah.
argument from me with that. But
He
yeah,
does interesting things. I mean, I think it's difficult to be shocked at what he does anymore because he's done. I mean, like, it's also interesting for me to talk about his whole career. And like, for a long time now, people have gotten stuck on, well, Nick Cage does weird movies because, like, he doesn't do movies and then he wants to buy a castle somewhere. So then he does a quick like blockbuster movie, and then he's got the money to buy a big castle in Scotland or wherever, and like that's how he kind of does things. And now, like with the movies that he's doing, I mean, I also love that a lot of it is like in the horror genre. He does some really cool stuff. Pig was amazing. Pig
yeah.
was a freaking amazing movie, and I mean, everybody agrees. Like it's so cool to have a Nick Cage movie where everyone agrees, yeah, this movie is damn good. Um,
The Georgia Film Critics Association gave him Best Actor for 2021. So I'm part of that, and I was so happy that we gave him that award.
yeah, good job
Yeah,
because that was excellent. So yeah, I mean, he's doing the whole aging like wine thing right now, which of course he's this. Like, I mean, I mean, what's he gonna do next to like surprise all of us? Star in a teenage rom-com. I don't know.
Valley Girl 2.
No, Freaky 2. Does a Vince
Ooh.
Vaughn Freaky 2. That's a horror. That'll be like kind of in his ball game. Yeah, like a body swap. That would be hilarious.
Oh, I love
But I
that.
mean, that wouldn't even be that surprising because it's Nick. Like expect the unexpected. Um,
With Pig, I gotta ask
I
you a
love
question.
it.
We, I guess we understand Academy Award nominations. I've done so much research on it
Boy,
for who
yeah,
gets nominated. Uh, I know all the trends, and it's really bumming when it's sad
it
when you
really
learn
is.
about it. But I just,
Yeah.
how do you? Okay, I know the answer, but how do you watch Pig and not put him on the top? Like, how do you not nominate him
What?
for Best Actor? So I was talking to Joe Benavides on our Neon episode, and
Yeah.
he brought up a good
Oh, I
point.
love that episode.
Yeah,
Everyone listen to the Neon episode. It's so cool.
yeah, Joe's awesome, isn't he?
Just cool.
Yeah, but he made a great point. He said there were four locks for Best Actor, and then there's a bunch of other people vying for that fifth spot. But to me, that diner scene alone, or the scene with Arkin at the end, should have guaranteed a nomination. It is so grounded, so layered, so calm, but still so expressive. And I'm going to say so a lot. I don't care. It is, I think it's beautiful. And I love that performance. So, so yeah, how did it not get nominated, Zandy? What do you
I
think?
mean, he's like a whole universe of humanity in that one character, and he controls it so well. Like you say, like all the emotions and stuff, and he controls it so. He's got such a power over that. Like, yeah, I don't